I've recently gotten back into Mugen, and I'm pretty happy with the game. So happy, in fact, that I believe I finally started the ultimate dream project for myself in Mugen. See, Mugen lets you create almost any kind of fighting game. I liked the official fighting games I own on Steam well enough, but I always wanted to make the perfect Mugen fighting game because of how personal my game would feel. Plus, I love crossover games like Super Smash Bros. I finished a rough draft of my first Mugen video script, so I'm taking the time a day after that night of binge writing to make a script for another Mugen video I plan to make. My Dream Mugen Build Tour Season 1. What is a Dream Mugen build, you ask? Well, it's basically what I would call someone's favorite / main Mugen build. I've also called the major milestones of my Dream Mugen's process seasons, kinda like how video games like Fortnite and Overwatch split up their major updates into seasons. So what I'm saying when I say Season 1 is that this is my first official update to my Mugen build that I could argue is complete enough to play. Well, enough rambling, let's start the tour. Let's start with the design philosophy of this build of Mugen. The core theme of this Mugen is balanced arcade mode and AI patches. I intended this specific build of Mugen to be player friendly, meaning the AI has to be beatable by a human to exist within this game. See, I had a history of being stubborn and including literally anything I want, and would get bodied by the Skynet AI to a very annoying degree. So for this build, I've raised my standards and decided that the AI in my Dream Mugen must be fair enough for a human to beat. Lucky for me, I found quite a lot of good characters with fair AI. Not necessarily easy or, First you'll notice the fact that I'm using what looks like the default Mugen 1.1 screen pack. This is actually Mugen Plus 1.1 by Slayer. I chose this pack because I always liked the default Mugen's look, but also because the other screen packs out there felt too themed on one game or just not my style. Plus I wanted to use a custom life bar, so I chose this pack to pair with the level 2 life bars by both JFC T555 and Slayer yet again. The major difference between Mugen Plus compared to Mugen Default is that you got more character slots. A low-res version of the original HD resolution screen pack, and maybe some additional features I didn't notice. It's my go-to pack for simply getting started with a build. The music in this pack has been replaced with my own choice of tracks. I put the title screen and character selection music from an old Touhou fighting game called Touhou 12.3 Hisetsu Soku, or simply called Touhou Soku for short. I may change these tracks in the future, as honestly I just wanted something different from the pack's default music files, which weren't bad by any means, I just kinda wanted something a bit more whimsical. Now let's enter character select and go over our roster of characters. Firstly, we got Peter Hans, Ryu, and Ken from Street Fighter fame. These ones seem based on their versions from Capcom vs SNK2. These particular style characters are usually called pot style characters. As the author Phantom of the Server created custom gameplay based on CVS2 that quickly became a popular gameplay style in Mugen. I like it quite a lot for that. I also have a Chun-Li by the same author. The neat thing about these characters is that they actually work with Mugen 1.1's difficulty settings, meaning they actually use the difficulty settings to scale up or down their AI. This is sadly rare in Mugen, and thus not every character works like this. I've got a couple of these Phantom of the Server style characters in the roster. I'm pretty sure Sakura and Ingrid both work like that. I've also added some JoJo's Bizarre Adventure characters into the roster because I don't think they have an air dash and were made by Capcom, so I figured it would be a good fit for this roster. We got Jotaro, Giorno, Dio, Josuke, Diavolo, even Jonathan. They're pretty tough to fight, but I like them enough to keep them. Plus, I could possibly play one of these characters if I'm ever bored of naming Ken from Street Fighter. Another Capcom-style classic characters are the Hyper Dragon Ball Z characters. I don't have all of them, but I added the major ones I wanted. They're from a popular Mugen/Ikemen Go Dragon Ball Z fan game. These characters are perfectly made in their balance, and like Peter Han's characters will work with difficulty scaling. I remember playing base Goku from this game a few times in the past. I quite like this style of character. I did add a fan-made Trunks in this style into the roster too. He seems to work pretty similar to the other ones. Gonna consider adding more of these types of characters in Season 2. I've added a bunch of AI patched characters to the roster thanks to a talented AI author named That Mario Memer. They made a bunch of AI patches that actually have config files for lowering the difficulty of the characters that go to these patches. I've quickly become a fan of this offer because they not only made some good patches for some of Rice Pigeon's Touhou characters, they also made a few of some good one-off characters like Waku Waku 7's Arena and some Arcana Heart Pot's style character. I even included Foxy from Five Nights at Freddy's because they were made by the same author as my two favorite Undertale characters in Mugen, Toriel and Undyne Fighters. Mega X was the author's name. All three are high-quality characters with a King of Fighters style to them. They're pretty neat. Lastly, I included Kyo, Iori, Terry, and Rock. I used Ikaruga's 2002 Ultimate Match characters for Kyo, Iori, Rock Howard, my favorite in the bunch. He has a cool look to him. And instead, Terry, who was decidedly a different gameplay style than the characters. Pretty sure he's another POTS character. I guess I just preferred this version or something. Most of these characters had an AI level config setting, so it was pretty painless to include them into the roster. Though I am really considering maybe looking for better versions of the free characters I added already, because I'm pretty sure there are better sprites and possibly better AI for more modern interpretations of Kyo and Iori. And yeah, that's pretty much everyone I could remember. It's only the beginning as I not only plan on more standard characters, but also boss characters and even overpowered edits. There are even bonus game characters that can be slotted into arcade mode, but that's a maybe for me. I'm not too sure how they react with the whole randomizer yet. In truth, we already got some boss tier characters in the form of Dio from JoJo and perhaps even his son Giorno. But I still class them as standard to me. I ideally want the end of the arcade mode in my Mugen to be filled with SNK level final bosses, aka really cheap bastards. Why? Because in the final match of arcade mode the game ends anyway, so why not make the match overpowered for fun? Lastly, we got the stages. In classic fighting games, it's common to make home stages for your characters. Naturally, I picked this trope to make deciding on which stages to download and add much easier. We got 33 stages for our around 31 characters. I've curated my stages and even picked out custom music for modern game titles and assigned them to a character on the roster. Mugen lets you set various settings for arcade mode, like what order a character appears in the arcade mode ladder. Useful for putting high difficulty AIs at the end of a game rather at the very first stage, and decide which stage they appear in. I've also had some troubles with this system before, but I think I fixed it now. Music themes for the stages are also usually music themes for characters in a roster. This part was fun because character theme music is always great to have in a fighting game. Good thing modern fighting games exist for most of these Mugen characters. I did have to give Foxy from Five Nights at Freddy's Dio's Part 1 theme from All-Star Battle R, but honestly I think it fits him quite well. There's like little robotic sounds in the song, so it kind of reminds me of the animatronics from that game anyways. Besides, we got Dio Part 3 Dio here with his own theme. I don't really care to add his Part 1 stuff into this game anyways, so it's not like a conflict of interest or anything. And that's about all I got to talk about in this video. I've been working on this build for about a week now, and I'm super happy with it. I'm still not good enough to use the fight stick I got with this for Mugen, but I do plan on learning the controller with my official games to hopefully use in Mugen one day. But for now, I'm happy using Gamepad for playing this build of Mugen. Just in case I forget to tell you, I decided to call this dream build of Mugen Ultimate. Basically stolen from Smash Ultimate, basically. As for the future of this build, I'm still unsure where it will go. No doubt more stages and characters can be added, but I want to make my Mugen as personal as possible. Perhaps I will edit this version of Mugen Plus 1.1 to fit my tastes better. Perhaps I'll change up the portraits in my life bars to custom portraits that add extra touch. I definitely want to make Mugen videos about the game in the future. Okay, adding note from the future. It's been a few days since I wrote the script, and I wanted to update a few things here at the end. Firstly, I decided to try and make a screen pack for my ultimate Mugen build. Thankfully, I found an old tutorial on the topic. I'm also going to continue testing the build in arcade mode and make changes as I see fit. Some characters are proving difficult, but should still be player beatable. So I think I'll just adjust their arcade order. I am also planning on making a testing session video or something in the future, but I'm having tons of fun with Mugen, so hopefully I'll make an interesting series on the channel. Until next time, peace out and have a good day!